I am here with the solution of example 1.6 of chapter 1st NCERT textbook. So here an equilateral triangle is given and it at each of its vertex a charge q is placed. Okay, so here is charge q, here is charge q, here is a charge q, and all the three sides are of length L. So question is, what is the force on a charge q placed at the centroid of the triangle? So if a charge capital Q is placed at the centroid, what is the net force acting on that charge capital Q? So I have redrawn the diagram here. So if you carefully look, I have shown all the forces which are acting on that capital Q charge. Okay, so here is your capital Q charge at the centroid. So I have shown the forces acting on this capital Q charge due to all the three charges. Okay, so here's one red charge, this is yellow charge, this is gray charge. So I have shown them with different colors so that you can clearly identify the force vector due to each of these charges. So here you can clearly see that this downward gray vector is the force due to this charge capital Q, this gray charge, whereas this red force will be due to this charge q and this yellow force will be due to this charge q at the third vertex. So these are the three forces which are acting on this charge capital Q due to these three charges which are kept at the vertex. Now, so we have to find the net force. Now, if we carefully see, all the three vertex charges are equidistant from the centroid. We know that this is the property of an equilateral triangle, that all the three vertices are equidistant. Since all the three charges are of same magnitude and they are at the same distance from the centroid, hence the magnitude of the force due to these three charges on capital Q charge will be same. I have shown it in the another diagram here. So here I have shown all those three forces which are acting on the capital Q charge. So here all the three forces are of equal magnitude, let's say F. Now since these three are equal, hence the angle between them will be 120 degree, because these three vectors are equally spaced from each other, hence each of these angle will be equals to 120 degree. Okay, now so we have to find the resultant here. Okay, what is the resultant of these three equal forces? So there are two ways by which we can find out this resultant. One is by using the geometrical method of finding the resultant, and the other is the mathematical method or algebraic method. So first I am going to show you by the geometrical method. So by the geometrical method, here we also know that geometrical method by the name of polygon method. So this is polygon method. So what do we do in the polygon method of finding the resultant? We arrange all the vectors in the shape of a polygon, and the combination of each two vector is head tail combination. So let's arrange these three vectors in a polygon. So here, so this is the first vector, this one is downwards, another vector, red vector. Clearly the red vector is upwards. Okay, so the tail of the red vector will coincide with the head of this pink vector. So I have drawn this red vector like this. Since all the three forces are of same magnitude, hence the length of all these vectors is same. Now only remaining is the yellow vector. Okay, so the yellow vector is this. So if I draw the last vector, that is the yellow vector, so it will be something like this. Okay, this pink vector is bit lesser length, like this. So if when we finally draw all the three vectors, we can clearly see that they form a closed polygon. Okay, and when the three vectors form a closed polygon, we say that their resultant is 0. So hence the net force acting on the capital Q charge placed at the centroid of the equilateral triangle is 0. So this is very easy. Now come to the mathematical method or the algebraic method. So for the algebraic method, I have shown another diagram here. So here again considering all the three vectors. So in the algebraic method, what we do, if we are given three vectors, we first try to find out the resultant of any two of them. Okay, so let's try to find out the resultant of yellow and red vector. So in order to find out the resultant of this yellow and the red vector, we have to draw a parallelogram. So let's draw a parallelogram. So this is the parallelogram formed from these two vectors. So their resultant will be the diagonal of the parallelogram. So it will be something here. Okay, so let's find out the magnitude of this resultant. Let me show this with some different color so that you don't get confused. This one. So this is the green vector. So green vector is the resultant of this yellow vector and the red vector. So let's find out this green vector. So this green vector we can find out by using the formula under root f square plus f square plus 2f into f cos. Now what is the angle between the yellow and the red vector? Yes, it is 120 degree. So write 120 here. Okay, so we simplify it, we will get 2f square plus 2f square. Now cos 120 is minus 1 by 2. So this 2 get cancelled, and finally we get f square inside, which will be equals to f. So this green vector is of magnitude f. So we got the resultant of these two vectors. So finally I can replace this red and yellow vector. So finally I can replace this red and this yellow vector with this green vector. Okay, so we are left with only two vectors, this green vector f and the pink one which was in the bottom here. Look at this pink vector. Okay, so this pink vector f. Now so since we can see that there are two vectors each of magnitude f and they are acting in a direction opposite to each other, hence their resultant will be 0. They will cancel out each other. So hence by both the methods I have shown that the net force acting on this capital Q charge is 0. Thank you.